If there's anything that I'm confident about from this NBA season, it's that Tyrese Haliburton is a future MVP, and he's one of the best point guards in the NBA right now. What is going on? I want to welcome you from Half-Court. I am Sean Murphy, and today I want to talk about Tyrese Haliburton, the Indiana Pacers, and how they just struck gold in getting an absolute franchise stud over this past NBA trade deadline, and how he can potentially lead the Pacers to future greatness, and how they're at the baseline of this rebuild and already show an insane amount of promise. I really love the young core that they have in Indiana, everything that they have built, and the fact that they're being led by Rick Carlisle for the Indiana Pacers is an absolute jackpot. Everything about this situation looks great, and it all starts with Tyrese Haliburton. The guard's averaging 21 points a game, 10 plus assists, 6'5", 22 years old, has an elite scoring talent, is able to score by the rim, shoot beyond the arc, but the best thing about Tyrese Haliburton is his playmaking. The dude has elite vision, elite passing, the ability to find teammates open in situations that few guards can find in the NBA. And if you look at analytics, it tells you that Tyrese Haliburton is pretty much already the best playmaker in basketball. According to B-Ball Index, assist points per 75 possessions, 100th percentile. The ability to create and pass creation quality, 91st percentile. High value assists per 75 possessions, 100th percentile. Passing efficiency, 100th percentile. The really only thing you need to know is that when it comes to playmaking, Tyrese Haliburton is one of, if not the best players in the NBA already. But the question is, what's the difference? What's allowed Tyrese Haliburton to take this next step? What's allowed him to become the player that he is today? Because he was really good in Sacramento. He showed flashes of being a great guard, but he didn't look like this. And when people were outraged by the Tyrese Haliburton trade, and believe me, I was outraged by the Tyrese Haliburton trade, I thought it was because the Sacramento Kings just traded away a future all-star. I didn't think they were trading away a future MVP candidate. And that's exactly what I think that they did, because Tyrese Haliburton is flat out special. And what's changed, what's been the difference, what's allowed him to show his game and to truly spread his wings, first of all, is that he's in a system where he is the guy, where he's the only guard in the backcourt that is handling the ball, bringing it up the court, that's setting guys up. He is the quarterback of this team. When he was in Sacramento with De'Aaron Fox, it was never going to truly allow him to unlock his game, unlock his potential, and to take it to the next level. Because even though De'Aaron Fox is a really good guard, and Tyrese Haliburton is also a great guard, the truth is, in order for their games to work, they both need the ball in their hands. And Tyrese Haliburton is an elite perimeter shooter. He is a guy that can take catch and shoot threes. But if you really want to unlock his game, you need to allow him to have the ball in his hands. De'Aaron Fox, the exact same thing. We've seen him pop off for the Sacramento Kings this year, but it was because he was able to finally spread his wings, not have so many guards in that backcourt, and actually allowed De'Aaron to go to work. And that's exactly what's happened for Tyrese in Indiana as well. And you pair him alongside an elite three-point shooter like Buddy Hield, the guy that he knew in Sacramento. You bring him alongside to Indiana. You pair him with guys like Miles Turner, who's an elite perimeter big and a guy who can go and get his own bucket, a guy at times who can take over games and affect situations, a guy who, overall is generally a good NBA player. And then you pair him alongside a roster with a lot of hardworking vets like TJ McConnell. You have a lot of solid draft picks like Chris Duarte. And then you throw in a young, scrappy rookie in Benedict Mathurin. All of a sudden, you're cooking with gasoline. But the crazy thing is that it's not just those guys. The thing about the Indiana Pacers that's been so special is that this is a team that everyone valued and everyone looked at as a Victor Wembanyama tank team. Instead, the Indiana Pacers, as of today, are the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, above teams like the Miami Heat, who went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. All because of the leadership of guys like Tyrese Haliburton, because of the moxie and the guts of guys like Benedict Mathurin, and then you throw in guys like Jalen Smith from Phoenix that they got in the trade deadline, who's getting a second chance and is showing what he can do as a rim protector. You throw in a guy like Rick Carlisle, who was being viewed as going to a contender. Everyone thought that when Rick Carlisle left the Dallas Mavericks, the number one rumored team was the Milwaukee Bucks. Then they won a championship, so that probably changed things a little bit. So therefore, welcome home Rick Carlisle to Indiana. And it turns out what that could potentially mean is a great potential pairing for Tyrese Haliburton going into the future. Because even though Rick Carlisle is an old coach, he's not that old. He's still in a situation where he could lead this team into the future and get this team into some competitive basketball, because they're not going to have to wait. They're going to be playing playoff basketball this season. And as of today, if they were to go into the playoffs, I was about to say anything can happen, but they're going to have to play those Milwaukee Bucks. But still, they're going to cause matchup issues. They're still going to be competitive. They're still going to be a threat. This team that was perceived and I ranked as a bottom 3 seed in this Eastern Conference before the season started isn't even going to have to play in the play-in tournament. They are up there with teams like the 76ers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Boston Celtics. They are with that class in the Eastern Conference right now. And that is because of the play of Tyrese Haliburton. And really that system of guys who all defend really hard, guys who shoot the basketball, guys who don't necessarily need the ball in their hands. And the thing about the Indiana Pacers, I know a lot of people have looked at the Pacers as not a true threat in the Eastern Conference for quite a while, but if you actually look at the Pacers, the reality is they're always in the mix somehow. Even when in the Paul George years, they were way better than people thought that they were, even threatened the Miami Heat Big Three in the Eastern Conference Finals. And after that point, this team has always consistently been a playoff team or a play-in team, or has been in the mix to be in the playoffs, because the Indiana Pacers just have a culture of competing and playing competitive basketball. Even if that doesn't mean that they're contenders or they're at the top of their conference, they at the very least have been able to maintain a 500 to just below or above 500 record for over a decade. And now they just do a short retooling. They get Tyrese Haliburton into the mix. They throw in these young guys, and all of a sudden, they're not losing games right away. They're winning right now. That's because the Pacers were able to do it in a seamless transition, but also were able to bring that guard of old that knew how to win games, that have played NBA games before. The fact that they have these players and they can mix it with this young core, and they can go out and they can actually be one of the better teams in this conference and one of the better teams in the NBA, that says something. Is Tyrese Haliburton an MVP candidate today? Probably not. He's probably just outside of that range. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that he still has areas where he can grow and get better in his game. He can still be a better defender. He can still be a more consistent scoring threat and put up more numbers on that side of the ball. But overall, if you look at everything that Tyrese Haliburton's done, where his game's at now, and the trajectory that he has going into the future, his future is insanely bright. He has one of the highest basketball IQs in the league already. He's one of the best shooters in the league already. He's one of the best playmakers. And quite frankly, he's known as one of the most high character guys in the league as well. Quite frankly, man, the Indiana Pacers struck gold, and all they had to give up was Domantas Sabonis and a couple other guys. The Pacers are still going to have to do a lot in order to make this team a contender. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to have to draft really well. They're going to have to see growth from Benedict Mathurin. They're going to have to see that consistent play from guys like Chris Duarte and guys like Andrew Nembhard, continue to grow and develop. And those guys continue to be as crucial as they have. If the Pacers can keep finding these guys in the margins of the NBA draft, if they can keep developing in-house and using the players that they've had throughout their years, and in addition, go out and make trades and get stars alongside Tyrese Haliburton, the Indiana Pacers can be contenders, and they can be contenders very soon. Who would you like to see play alongside Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers in the future? Let me know in the comment section down below. But also, be sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you see more content. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time from Half Court. Be sure you subscribe.